so we got 10 to go before we get a break, before we get a week off. Okay? All right. So if you haven't turned in your E1, your E2, and your E3, those were the 3 that you got last week. Make sure you get that turned in. Also, if you haven't turned in your retina burning red formative from over the weekend, make sure you get that turned in. So we got plenty of stuff to be doing. This week, looking ahead to this week, we've got some clearing fractions today. We're going to start using step number 2, where we clear our fractions, and we're going to do some more of that on tomorrow. And then Wednesday's we're going to tie everything together. Here's an equation. Have at it, solve it. Thursday is going to be a formative, and then Friday we're going to start some unique solutions. Meaning, there's 2 unique solutions out there for us, and we're going to start doing some of those type of problems too. And then, looking forward to next week, we're going to have a test on Thursday next week. So formative this Thursday, test the following. Okay. So, again, our warm-up problems and our last half of your homework problems are all kind of taking in that reviewing from Unit A and Unit B and Unit C and Unit D and keeping going with that because we're getting ready for right after break we have our final. So we're doing that. So here's 2 warm-up problems. Please do them. We didn't even put a warm-up spot on there. Looks like we can do it way up at the top. Way up where it says E4, clearing fractions, day 1, and then there's a blank. You can do one of them on that side, and then you can do the other one on the other side of the notes part. Okay? So up top on E4's notes. Alright, so first one. We've got 6 over 1 times 2 over 3. And we can multiply that through, and we can go here. We can multiply, and we can get 12. We can multiply here, and we can get 3. And then we can say, okay, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So the answer here is 4. Okay? One way of doing these problems. Okay? Another way of doing them, we can still go 12 over 1 times 3 over 4. What we can do is we can divide 4 by 4, and that leaves me with 1. And we can divide 12 by 4, and that leaves me with 3. And then I can multiply across. I forgot to put on here. Divide by 3. 3 gets me that, and that gets me then across the top, gets me 3 times 3, which is 9, over 1 times 1, which is 1. Which we could just call written over 1. Over, so we just call it 9. Okay? Questions on this? All good? Love it. All right. So, one more time. What are our 5 steps? Step number 1. Distribute. What do we do when we distribute, Jesse? Or what are we doing? Getting rid of the parentheses. Yep, exactly. We distribute to get rid of parentheses. Yeah. Step 2, I'm going to skip because that's going to be the focus of today. So we'll come back to that. Step 3, combine like terms. And what does it mean one more time for terms to be like terms? Same variable. The E word. Exponent. Yep, same exponent. on those variables. Yep, good job. So same variable, same exponent. Step 4 is we clear with any adds and subtracts that we got. So basically what we're trying to do here on these two is we're trying to get the variable equal to some number or some number equaling the variable. We want to get the variable all by its lonesome. All by its, kind of like that piece of paper that nobody has claimed yet this week. Okay? We want to get the variable all by itself sitting up on the board, being all nice and okay? Okay? So back to step 2 then. Step 2 says what we're going to do is we are going to clear any fractions. Now again, this means that we're just clearing the fractions so that it's easy, the problem is easier for us to work with. Okay? This doesn't mean that in the end we can't get fractions as our answer. This just makes it easier for us. And how we're going to go about clearing fractions is we are going to multiply, okay, every single term in our equation by the common denominator. Okay? So just like when we were finding common denominators, when we were adding and subtracting fractions, we're going to do that. We're going to find a common denominator again, but that's what we're going to multiply every single term by in step 2. Okay? So which is also good for helping us see common denominators. Add and subtract fractions. Okay? All right. 2p over 3 minus 2 equals 4. Now, normally, what you probably would have done is you probably would have added 2 to both sides in the olden days. You know, add 2 to both sides, then multiply by 3 on both sides, then divide by 2 on both sides, and then we're solving. Okay? Right? Which is fine, which is great, which is grand, which is wonderful. Okay? But I want to show you a little different way of doing this particular problem. So the least common denominator, or a common denominator, if you will, is going to be, in this case, 3. Because I'm looking at all of my denominators, and 3 is the smallest number that all 3 of those go into. Okay? So that's why I chose 3. Okay? So then, what you do is you multiply, and I like to write this right in here. I multiply by 3 there, I multiply by 3 there, and I multiply by 3 there. I got to multiply all of those terms by 3. Okay? So I'm multiplying each and every one of those terms by 3. Okay? So what is 2 times 3? 2 times 3 is 6, times p, 6p. So the top of this fraction is 6p. 6p divided by 3. Can 6 be divided by 3? Yeah, how many times? 2. Yep, 2. So this ends up being here 2p. No fraction. 2 times 3. Now here in the middle. 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So then the minus sign comes along. So this is going to become minus 6. 4 times 3. 12. And now we should get, if provided we multiply by a common denominator, we should get an equation that doesn't have any fractions in And it makes it easier for us to solve. Because now what are we going to do to solve this one? Add 6 to both sides. Yeah. So then this goes away, and I'm left with 2p equals 18. And then divide both sides by 2. That goes away, and I'm left with p equals 9. And then I can do a quick check of it too, right? 2 times 9 is 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 checks out. With me? Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? None? All right. Looking at number 2. My denominators are 2, 3, 3, and 2. Right? So what is a number, preferably the smallest one, doesn't have to be though, what is a number that both 2 and 3 go into? 6. Okay? So 6 is going to be my common denominator. So I'm going to multiply every term, and I'm going to write this in so I don't forget. I'm going to multiply every term by 6. Okay? Then I got to go through and I got to do those. So individually, I'm looking here and I go, okay, 6 times A is 6A divided by 2. 3A. Minus sign's going to come along for the ride. 6 times 1. 6 divided by 3. 2. 2A or just 2? Just 2. Yep, there's no A in this one. Six times A. 6A divided by 3. 2A. This one's 2A. 6 times 1. 6 divided by 2. 3. So we get that. And when we go through, when we do that, so like in my brain up here on this one, on the blue one, I was doing 6 times A divided by 2. In your head. Now we should get a fraction-free equation. Okay? What do we want to do first? Minus 2A from both sides? (3A minus 2A). 1A. Add 2 to both sides. Just A equals -1. With me? All right. You try. 3 and 4. Go for it. So in number 3, what is the smallest number or a number? I would even take a number. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the smallest number. Okay? But what is a number that 3, 6, and 2 all go into? 12 is one of them. We could use that. 6 is the smallest one. 12 works. Another one. Anybody got another one? 18, 24, 36, 30. Yep, all those. Doesn't matter which one we use. Okay? But we're going to use, typically we're going to go with the smallest one. Okay? So I'm going to multiply by 6, and by 6. Okay? Now, let me show you a little different way of doing this too. 3 divided by, or 3 goes into 6 twice, so 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative, I've got the negative sign there. Okay? And then we're going to have equals 6 divided by 6 is just 1, so then that's going to be negative f. Okay? And 2 goes into 6 3 times, so then that's going to be plus 9. Okay? Now, other way that we were doing it was just find 2. 2 times 6, or negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. That's another way of doing it. 6 times f is 6f. Divided by 6 is just f. With the negative sign carries along. 3 times 6 is 18. Divided by 2 is 9. Works out. Same thing. We get the same answer. Okay? So then I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. And that's going to give me, oops, I forgot to cancel up. And then that's going to give me negative 13 equals negative 9. Now, one thing that I was noticing the other day was people were giving me this as their final answer. What's wrong with this? Well, not so much f can't be a negative, but f is not all by itself. Okay? Same level. Okay? F is not all by itself. Yep. So f, we still haven't got f all alone, so we need to divide by negative 1 or multiply by negative 1. It's the same thing, and so then we get 13 equals f. Negative 13 plus 9 is negative 4. Negative 4, 6 is reduced to negative 2. Works out. Number that goes into both 2 and 4. Or I shouldn't say, a number that both 2 and 4 goes into. Still 4, what's another one? 8, what's another one? Not 10. 12 is 1. Not 12, or not 14, but 16, and any of those multiples of 4 go in. Okay? So, I'm going to multiply by 4, multiply by 4, multiply by 4, and multiply by 4. I've got to multiply every single term by that common denominator. Okay? 1 times 4, 4 divided by 2, 2, so then times x is 2x. 4 times 7 is 28. 3 times 4 is 12. Divided by 4 is 3. Four times 4 is 16. Oops. Here was, oops. Mark. Here was purple. Huh? Which way do you want variables to go? To the left or to the right? Which way? To to the right. Okay. Want our variables to go to the right. So we're going to go minus 2x here. Now, why did I choose to go to the right there? It would have been a negative x. Yep, exactly. How am I going to move that, finish this off? Add 16. So that's 4, carry the 1 is 44. 3, 9. Good stuff. So today we've got a good mod and some extra minutes. We've got plenty of things to be working on. Some of you still haven't finished off your formative that is due today from this weekend. Some of you have fixings to do on E1, E2, E3. Okay, all that stuff is all good to be done. Some of you have E1, E2, and E3 to do yet. Okay, so we've got that going on. We've got lots of stuff that can be worked on. Everybody should be working and getting all caught up.